Basketball is literally a game. Like, I promise you, it's literally a game. We have so much fun with it. But when it comes to death threats, when it comes to people finding, like, I'm talking about people who have come down to my address, follow me home. Like, it's come down to that. Multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me, like, naked. Literally.
Really?
They have sent it to my family members. My family members are like, uncles are sending it to me like,
no.
Are you naked on Instagram?
Angel Reese just said, "What about Caitlyn Clark? The basketball world is buzzing, and you won't believe what's really going down. Let's dive into this crazy drama and find out why everyone's saying Angel got destroyed." So here's what happened. Angel Reese dropped a bombshell, accusing Caitlyn Clark's fans of harassing her and making fake AI images. She said she was being sexualized, and it was all Clark's fault. Can you believe it? This is huge. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. As soon as Reese made these claims, social media went wild. Fans were questioning if it was true, players were taking sides, and everyone had an opinion. It was like watching a basketball game.
Like, we've talked trash to each other in AAU. Like, that it's been that. So I think it's really just the fans, her fans. When you come, when it's behind your name, that's when a lot of people are like, oh, they think, oh, I don't like her because her fans are saying this. No, I don't believe in her heart that she has hatred towards me.
But instead of points, people were scoring with hot takes. But hold up, because this story isn't over. There's something big coming that's gonna change everything. You think you know what's going on? Just wait until you hear what happens next. It's gonna blow your mind. You thought the drama was intense before? Just wait till you hear about Caitlyn Clark's season. This girl's been pulling in more viewers than some NBA games. Yeah, you heard that right. So why would someone try to take down a rising star like her? And how's she handling all this heat? Let's talk about Caitlyn Clark's incredible season. She's not just playing basketball, she's rewriting the whole playbook. We're talking over 1 million viewers per game. That's insane. Her games are packing in an average of 15,300 fans, while Angel Reese is pulling in 10,200.
Whenever you think of Angel Reese, people often mention Caitlyn Clark. You've said in interviews, there's no beef, but the media keeps going on. This is your platform, so how do you feel about that situation?
Caitlyn is an amazing player, and I've always thought she was an amazing player. We've been playing each other since high school. Like, literally been playing each other since high school, and like knowing that, like, there's never been beef. At the end of the day, it's a game that we do both love, but there is no hate. No hate. We're gonna play on the same team one day, I'm sure. Like, we're gonna definitely play on the same team one day, so.
Maybe 2028.
Clark's not just winning on the court, she's winning the popularity contest too. But here's where it gets wild. Since Clark joined the WNBA, viewership has shot up by 180%. You know what that means? This girl is literally changing the game. She's not just a player, she's become the face of women's basketball. Now imagine you're at the top of your game, breaking records left and right, and suddenly someone comes at you with these crazy accusations. That's exactly what's happening to Caitlyn Clark right now. These allegations aren't just drama. They could seriously mess with her career and reputation. Think about it. Clark's got this massive Nike deal worth about $3 million a year. That's not just pocket change. It's a sign that she's a big deal in the sports world. But false claims? They could make sponsors think twice. It's like trying to score a three-pointer with someone trying to trip you up. So how's Clark handling all this? You'd think she'd be firing back, right? But nope, she's staying cool as ice. Instead of getting into a Twitter war or giving angry interviews, she's keeping her focus where it matters, on the court. It's like she's saying, my game speaks louder than words. But don't think for a second that this means Clark's taking this lying down. She's letting her performance do the talking. While everyone's buzzing about the drama, she's out there breaking records and drawing in crowds. It's like she's on a whole different level.
She's the first rookie to win WNBA Player of the Month since the award's inception in 2010, and last night it was no exception. They were sky high for Caitlyn Clark and the Fever, but to start the season, they had a little bit of a rough go of it. They lost their first 5 games. They ended up 1-8 through their first 9 games. And during that first month, the playoffs, they didn't feel realistic at all. Indy entered the Olympic break 11-15 on the year, and then they really turned it around. They've won 7 of their 8 since. They clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2016, which, by the way, was the last year of Hall of Famer and franchise icon Tamika Catchings.
Just as Clark was silencing her critics with her game, Reese's claims were starting to unravel. Fans began digging, and what they found didn't add up. How did a few social media posts turn the tables on this whole controversy? It all started when fans got curious and started looking into Reese's accusations. They weren't just taking her word for it anymore. People were comparing what Reese said with what she actually posted online. And let me tell you, things weren't matching up. One fan pointed out something that got everyone talking. They said, "How can you claim you're being sexualized when you post revealing photos yourself?" Ouch! That's like saying the ref made a bad call when the replay shows you clearly stepped out of bounds. But it wasn't just that. Fans were scratching their heads, wondering what Caitlyn Clark had to do with any of this. Someone even said, "Caitlyn Clark has nothing to do with that." It's like blaming your teammate for missing a shot you didn't even take. As more and more evidence came out, Reese's story started falling apart faster than a team's lead in the fourth quarter. People were starting to think that maybe, just maybe, Reese was using Clark's name to get attention. It's like trying to grab the spotlight by challenging the star player, even when you're not on the court. The basketball community didn't stay quiet about this. Players, coaches, and fans all started speaking up. They were standing by Caitlyn Clark like a solid defensive line. It was clear that people weren't buying what Reese was selling anymore. Social media exploded with support for Clark. Fans were sharing old interviews, game highlights, and stories about how Clark treats her fans. It was like everyone was saying, "This is the real Caitlyn Clark we know." But here's the kicker. Through all of this, Clark kept her cool. She didn't fire back on Twitter or give angry interviews. Nope, she let her game do the talking. While Reese's accusations were falling apart, Clark was out there breaking records and drawing crowds. Talk about a power move. This whole situation showed something important about women's basketball. It's not just about what happens on the court anymore. Social media, fan interactions, and how players handle themselves off the court matter too. Clark proved that sometimes the best defense is a good offense, and in her case, that offense was simply being herself and playing her heart out. As the dust settled on the court, a storm was brewing off it. Reese's accusations didn't just disappear into thin air. What happened next had everyone from fans to sponsors on the edge of their seats. How would Reese handle the backlash? The aftermath hit Reese like a full-court press. Her team, the LSU Tigers, suddenly found themselves in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Coach Kim Mulkey, known for her no-nonsense approach, had to address the situation. You could practically feel the tension in the air during their next press conference. Sponsors weren't happy either. Reese's deals were suddenly under scrutiny. It's like when a player's shooting percentage drops, brands start to get nervous. Some companies even hinted at reconsidering their partnerships. Talk about a turnover at the worst possible moment. But here's where it gets really wild. Fans who once cheered for Reese were now booing from the virtual sidelines. Social media turned into a battleground, with devouring Team Clark trending faster than a fast break. Reese's mentions were flooded with disappointed supporters and angry Clark fans. It was like watching a crowd switch sides mid-game. The ripple effect on women's basketball was huge. People were talking about the sport, sure, but not in the way anyone wanted. Instead of celebrating amazing plays, everyone was debating player integrity. Some worried this drama might overshadow the incredible season the WNBA was having. So, did Reese try to make things right? Well, it's complicated. At first, she doubled down, like a player insisting they weren't fouled when the replay clearly shows otherwise. But as the pressure mounted, Reese started to backpedal. She posted a vague apology on Instagram, talking about misunderstandings and moving forward. But was it too little, too late? The basketball community was split. Some players came to Reese's defense, saying everyone makes mistakes. Others sided with Clark, praising her for staying above the fray. It was like watching a close game where no one knew which team would come out on top. This whole situation showed how one misstep could change everything. Reese went from being a rising star to a cautionary tale overnight. It wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about responsibility, integrity, and the power of social media in sports. But here's the thing. This drama didn't just affect Reese and Clark. It sparked a bigger conversation about how athletes handle themselves off the court. People started asking tough questions. How much should fans know about players' personal lives? Where's the line between rivalry and respect? As the dust began to settle, one thing was clear. Women's basketball was changing. This wasn't just about points on a scoreboard anymore. It was about character, integrity, and how players handle the spotlight. All right, this whole drama isn't just about Reese and Clark. It's bigger than that. It's showing us what women's basketball is becoming. This isn't just a game anymore. It's about how players act off the court too. Think about it. One tweet can change everything. Players need to be careful with what they say online. It's not just about making baskets. It's about being a good role model, too. But here's the thing, mistakes happen. What matters is how you handle them. This could be a chance for everyone to learn and grow. It's like when you miss a shot, you don't give up, you practice harder. Women's basketball is on the rise, and this drama shows just how much people care about it now. It's not just a sport, it's becoming a big deal. And that's pretty exciting, don't you think?